Hello, Farshid and Jim. Hope I'm saying Farshid's name correctly. If not, I apologize. Here's your booster, and it's all finished and ready to rock and roll. As I mentioned, we're going to get rid of this. Whoever sleeved this in brass made a mistake. Brass does not like brake fluid. The brake fluid will oxidize. The brass will just oxidize, and then the green that oxidizes off of the brass mixes with the brake fluid and turns into a green paste. And of course, this vacuum diaphragm is no longer usable. You can tell because the flats, because the lip is supposed to pooch out like that, but it doesn't. It's virtually flat, so there's no vacuum seal right whatsoever. Going to test your booster. We've got a vacuum here, a vacuum port here that we test with, and you can also do that when it's in the car. And then of course you got your input and output. And over here in the gauges, we've got your vacuum, and this gauge is going to go up and register the vacuum that my vacuum pump can put out, and it stays pretty much constant. And then this gauge will go up and register the same amount of vacuum, plus or minus, percentage of air on the gauges and the age of the pump. And then as the booster is activated, this gauge is going to go down to 0 until at which point the booster is fully activated. Over here we've got our hydraulic, and what we're going to expect to see here is this is the input side, and this gauge goes up, maxes out. This gauge goes and follows and then reads our final input pressure. These two gauges are tied together. These two gauges are output, and this gauge goes up, maxes out, and then this gauge will follow and read the final output pressure. And first thing we do is, without any vacuum, we go ahead and activate the booster, and I do that by, this is the master cylinder. So that's the pressure that the booster puts out. I'm sorry, the pressure that the test unit puts out. Yeah, we got 350 across the board and a little bit of about 350 there. Again, 1950s gauges. We got percentage of error. So now we're going to hit with vacuum. And we'll activate the booster. Got full activation, and we have input, output, almost between about 700 and 800 psi. We'll do it here, watch it activate. Cycle it several times, and while we have full pressurization, we check here for leaks. Make sure we're not leaking around here. These fittings might leak, but that's only because I'm limited in how tightly I can do them when the booster's not on the car. And of course, we want to make sure that we got no leaks coming from this air filter unit right here. Make sure our bleed screws are not leaking, or leaking right here. And that's what it looks like when we do it all at once. That is, in my opinion, a fine, fully functional booster that tested right on the numbers. So, we slowly. Here's our vacuum. Now then, this, as I was telling you, you could do this test yourselves on the car. just hook up a vacuum gauge here, and as when the engine's idling, or push on the brakes, and the more you push on the brakes, the closer this will get to 0, and that'll give you an idea that your booster is doing its thing. Thank you for your patience and waiting for the plating to get done. It took a while, but it's well worth it to get the original plating. Thank you.